All right, we're all still doing something different today. So I recently got invited to play Deadlock, which is Valve's new MOBA shooter, and I love it. I think it's amazing. I think that they have a hit here for sure. I don't know how long we are from a full release, but I think the game is amazing, and everyone should play it if they can because the game is free. So you just need an invite from somebody. Yeah, no, I told even in its current state, I think that people should play it because it's a phenomenal game. And I reconnected with some friends that I haven't played games with in a long time who just started playing Deadlock as well. So I think it's a good time all around. So I want to go over my most recent game where I played pretty well, and but not very well because I don't think that I'm anywhere close to that skill level. And I'm just doing this kind of as an introduction to if you haven't played a MOBA before slash haven't played Deadlock, I think this will be kind of interesting. If you are already playing Deadlock and you're like, hey, I sort of got the feel of the game, and I'm trying to understand like what to do from here, I think it'll be more useful to you. And I think if your experience of the game, it's not gonna be valuable to you at all because you're probably even better than me at this point because I've only played 15 games or so. I would say that I understood like what was going on pretty much right from the start. As somebody who played Dota at a very high level and plays shooters at a very high level, when you merge the two things together, it immediately becomes very clear like what I'm supposed to be doing like with my time and my actions. Which isn't to say that I can do it or that I knew the map well or anything like that, but I understood what was the general goal at any moment in time and was able to kind of make decisions based on that, which is incredibly helpful. So for context, in Dota, I played all the way up to, I think I peaked at like 44, 50 or something MMR. This is a long time ago. This is before they even put in whatever those scouting towers are. So this is, 5+ years ago or whatever, at least. So it's not like I'd be competitive at all playing Dota now, but I'm just saying that there was a point in time where I was playing Dota very, very well. So I understood Dota really well. For that one time, I played Dota 1, right, all back when it was a Warcraft 3 mod, way back in the day. So I had a lot of experience from that regard, and seeing it brought to life here in a shooter context is very, very interesting because I think the skill ceiling for this game is nuts, and conversely, I think the skill floor is very, very, depending on how you define skill floor, low or high. It is very easy to suck at this game. Let's put it that way. I would say it is because it merges two different genres together. I think it is even harder than other games because of this. I think that the skill expression is enormous here between like regular shooting mechanics, like being able to duel, being able to strafe, right, to dodge, being able to figure out how to take like small little fights, the tactics, the team play, the creeping, right, killing off the mobs. The mobs are the I should call troopers in this, but like people call them mobs from like way back. Killing off the mobs, right? Understanding how to optimize your time and being efficient, the movement tax, the hero specific tax. There's so much here, right? There's so much here in like so many different dimensions. Imagine an Overwatch where like every single hero also had the option halfway through the match to purchase one new ability from any of the abilities in the game, aside from ultimates. Like that immediately raises the skill ceiling enormously because you add another tool to your toolkit to deal with problems, right? You're like, oh, Widow's a really big problem for me, so maybe I'll add Sombra's invisibility, right? And then her stealth, and then I can suddenly get access to her even as a hero that doesn't have mobility in order to help deal with that problem. But the Widow tries to counterplay this by, for example, taking Arisa's Fortify ability, right? That way she doesn't get instantly killed when you engage on her. Things like that. So that's like, in some small sense, sort of what's kind of going on here in Deadlock because items dramatically change your gameplay and like what is or is not possible, and not only for you but what the enemy can do. Like you might be like, oh, the enemy, there's no way the enemy can kill me here. Oh, but they have an item that they can. Or this enemy is definitely going to die here. Oh no, they have an item that prevents them from dying. And the calculus of the game and decision making changes all the time, and all the information is public, right? It's all transparent to you. Nothing's hidden. So that's something that could happen in Dota, where, for example, if an enemy went back to base, bought an item, you wouldn't be able to see that item until they revealed themselves in lane. So Blink Dagger is a really good example of this, right? So Blink Dagger allows you to blink onto enemy and teleport to them very, very quickly. And that changes what your sense of safety is. Because you might be like, oh, they're too far to get me, I'm safe here. But if they have a Blink Dagger, and this is the first time they've revealed the Blink Dagger, it's very hard, unless you have a ton of game sense, to understand that you now need to play differently because they have that ability available to them, because they just bought an item to do so. So again, Deadlock, I think, is just scratching the surface here. If we think about it in terms of like 0 to 100, right? Where 0 is the worst player in the world and 100 is the best player in the world, or like potentially what could be the best player in the world. In Overwatch, I'm like charitably a 60, right? 60 to 65, right? And I would say that if you look at the average players in gold, they're probably, I don't know, 30, right? And you're looking at top players like Owl, Owl level players, I don't know, OWCS, right? Are 100, right? We'll consider them 100. I may be at 60. When you look at GM plus players, you're looking at 65, 70, etc. Like keep in mind that somebody could be at 65, and if I'm 60, somebody 65 would still consistently beat me, right? Because that's a 10% advantage is really significant. But in Deadlock, I feel right now like I'm like a 10 of like what the skill level is of where I could be. Like I feel like there's so much room for me to grow in so many different dimensions in terms of the decision making and the mechanics and like everything else. And that's not true for all games, right? Like, but if I pick up a new shooter, I don't feel that way. Like when I played Valorant briefly, I didn't feel like I started Valorant as like a 60, right? I felt like, especially coming over from CS, I felt like, oh no, I already feel like I'm playing. If CS I was a 50, let's say, which is probably not right, but let's say I was a 50 in CS, then in Valorant I feel like I was already at like 35, 40 or something, like within a week or two. But I don't think in Deadlock that's going to happen because there's so much stuff that you can learn. Anyway, that's a lot of stuff to talk about here. But obviously, if you're watching this video, it's because you want to hear me talk about this. If you want to see gameplay of this, if you want to see high-level gameplay, there's plenty of that out there. Definitely don't watch my gameplay. My gameplay is not going to be an example of what high-level gameplay looks like at all. Like I was watching some earlier today and last night. The difference is like night and day. Like literally, you take like a 10-second clip, they look so much better than me, which makes sense. I mean, they're just way better at the game. And that's what I'm saying. Like I'm so low on the curve here, but I think there's still so much that I can talk about. At a minimum, if you're somebody coming from Overwatch, which is like probably 99.9% of the people who are going to see this, if you're coming from Overwatch and you're like, hey, look, why should I pick up the game? What transfers over? Like, what's interesting about this? I think this video will be for you. All right, let's start. Let's go. So first thing to notice is there are 4 different lanes here. Okay. Now, at the beginning, I'm going to back up a little bit. I'm not going to explain all the mechanics of the game. I think there's plenty of other beginners guides out there that are going to be way better. I'm not going to do that. It's not going to be. I'm just trying to explain just a little bit like what the heck's happening here. So at the beginning, I believe randomly assigned so that there's going to be 2 dual lanes, right? So for example, I'm actually going orange now, right? So let's say there's going to be 2 dual lanes, right? And there's going to be 2 solo lanes. And it's going to be mirrored on the exact same opposing side. So there's 4 lanes. There's going to be 2 lanes that are duels and 2 lanes that are singles. It's not always the same lanes, which I think is interesting, right? So the duels are randomly assigned. I don't think you have any control over that. You could switch right now if you really wanted to, but like definitely the default community attitude is just leave it, like stay in the lanes that you currently have. So we're going to go out here and I'm going to go out and I'm going to have a solo lane myself. So I'm going to be playing against... I'm trying to remember who that I'm playing against. It's going to be the... I don't remember all the heroes yet. I think it's Ivy. I feel like this is called Ivy. That's silly that I don't actually remember that. I think it's called Ivy. Anyway, so I'm going to be playing against the Ivy here. The Ivy is not that good, but I figured out relatively quickly, and then you're going to see how I turn those small advantages into larger and larger advantages. And that's something that transfers over from Overwatch, right? When you fight somebody and you realize, hey, look, their movement's not good, the decision-making is a step slow, it's not like they're terrible, right? Like, Ivy's not going to like just run into my team and die or something like that. It's just the little advantages I start accruing over time and the lack of prioritization on the right things start building advantages. And what's different about this in Overwatch is that you get permanent advantages over the course of the match because you get more and more gold. I'm going to call it gold, even though I know it's not actually, it's called souls, right? Gold, money, souls, whatever it is, right? You get more and more souls over the course of the match, and that's going to give you power you up. And when you're stronger than the opponent because you are more farmed, you have more souls, then it becomes even easier to kill them, and it becomes snowballing. That's one of the quote-unquote problems about Dota, League of Legends, etc., is that they're snowbally games. Once you get an advantage, it's easy to win more and to make it the game very one-sided and feel like the other team has no way to come back. So we're going to start here, and I think the key thing here is if you come from other shooters, your perspective here is I want to kill the opposing hero. But if you come from a MOBA background, your perspective is I don't want to kill the enemy hero. I want to kill the creeps because the creeps give you gold. So does the enemy hero, but not like a lot. And it takes a lot of effort and it's a relatively low percentage play, like likelihood of happening, to kill the enemy hero. So you're better off killing the creeps because that is guaranteed to give you a lot of money all the time, right? Each one of the creeps gives you like 105-ish, and like that's like 400-ish per wave, right? And plus you can deny all the opposing creeps, which gives you half value. So that's another 200 right there. So you get 600 per wave if you're perfect about killing every single creep on both sides. So it's called creep score, at least in Dota. So that's kind of, I think, an experienced mobile player's perspective is, my priority is killing the creeps, not killing the opposing hero, because it's really hard to kill the opposing hero unless they make a huge mistake. Now, at least, when you have more power-ups, when you do more damage, because generally speaking in these games, damage scales faster than health and defense does. So once you have more health and damage, then you have opportunities to kind of engage and do something here. But at the current stage, like there's really nothing that you can do about this. There's a lot here in terms of where you want the wave to be, and I think this is what's also kind of interesting. I've never done replay mode before, so I actually have no idea how to pivot the screen. I don't know if I can. But, so their tower, quote unquote tower, guardian, called in Deadlock, is all the way over here. My tower is back here. And so all this space in the middle, this is kind of like that neutral space between us. Depending on where you're fighting, things are good or bad for you. So when you're fighting over here, the good news is that you get to apply pressure to the opposing team because your creeps are walking forwards into their guardian, which distracts their guardian, which allows you to apply more damage. And your creeps might even shoot at them if they have no creeps in front of them. Creeps, mobs, same thing, right? Creeps, mobs, troopers, I'm going to use the same thing for all of them. So they're all going to be pushing in, and then you get the opportunity to shoot them, right? When it's in the middle, let me get rid of some of these lines. So when the fight is happening in the middle, the advantage is now I have the opportunity to flank behind them and maybe cut off their attack. But there's generally speaking going to be about equal momentum between the two sides, and the creeps are going to be a major factor either way, right? I also might have like a little trouble here getting last hits depending on kind of the terrain. Like for example, you might have creeps on the other side of this block, and you might not be a good line of sight. When the fight is happening all the way over at your tower, reverse situation happens. So now you're the one being pressured by the creeps, and the enemy hero has more chances to poke at you. But on the other hand, you have no real chance of dying for the most part, unless they have some ability to die, because they can't get behind you. Until later in the game when people have very, very strong burst, you have basically no way of dying once you're at your tower. So this is something that you're always thinking through is, where do you want the wave to be? Like, where do you want the fight to be happening? Do you want to be happening in the middle, their side, your side, etc.? And I can't say that there's necessarily a good general rule here. I would say that you probably don't want to push too hard, and you probably don't want to get pushed too hard, if that makes sense. Like, you don't want every single wave to be happening at their guardian, and you don't want every wave to be happening at your guardian either. So try to keep it somewhere in the middle, based upon what your situation is. If you're playing a very aggressive hero like Bebop, you probably actually want the wave to come towards you to have the opportunity to get behind them and get kills. Because if they play really far back, it's hard for them to get last hits, so that works in your favor as well. Anyway, that's a lot of just like kind of theory here, but that's like sort of the same thing happens when you think about in Dota, right? Where you're playing, and often in Dota, one of the best approaches was to actually slow down the lane a lot, so it's always at your tower, which prevents you from being dove. This especially makes sense when you're a carry, where you're very, very weak early game, and the enemy heroes are all trying to target you and slow down your farm. But I think in this game, there's more space because of how fast the rotations are to be able to push the wave and then use it to do something else constructive. So one of the things that's interesting here, it's a shooter, but it's an over-the-shoulder shooter, right? It's a third-person shooter. So you can see right there when I take shots, you can actually shoot in such a way that you're basically completely in cover, but because you're shooting out of the right side of your model, you can like shoot from a very, very covered position. It's hard for me to move the replay reviewer around, but it's fine. You'll see it again. You'll see that when mobs die, right? When mobs die to either me or the enemy heroes, but not when guardians or mobs kill each other. So only when players kill a mob, they drop an orb. That orb, prior to 10 minutes, represents 50% of the experience / gold value. It's the same thing in this game, which is also interesting, right? Every single orb you get, last hit you get, gives you experience and gold. Prior to 10 minutes, those orbs are worth 50% of the value of the trooper. So that's like 52-ish or something like that. But after 10 minutes, it's worth 100%. So you must be very cognizant of that, of like making sure to last hit and get the orbs when the enemy is around. If you kill a mob and you let the orb expire, like it goes in the air, floats for like 2 seconds and then disappears, whoever killed it still gets that value. So that's still fine. If there's nobody there, you don't have to worry about last hitting, but you don't have to worry about killing the orbs, orb killing. But another thing to note is that there's another hero in your lane. All experience and gold is fully split or shared between them. So there's no reduction. Like if it's worth 105, both you and your partner or 2 other heroes on your team all get 105, but that only applies up to 10 minutes, at which point after that, only one person gets it. So really, really big difference on laning phase where people are very typically stay put in the first 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, they roam a lot more because they can't gain as much value at the same time by clumping in a lane. All right, because if you think about it, the amount of value you can get from a lane is infinite per wave, or 6 times the number of value, right? Let's say it's 400, round it and say 400. If there's all 6 heroes in a lane, you could all get 2,400 total experience, right? 400 each, because it's all shared completely. But after 10 minutes, you can only get 400. So 5 people are getting functionally nothing, right? Averaging nothing because of the lack of sharing mechanic. So my goal here is, hey, look, just try to get last hits. But like if I get the chance to damage the opposing hero, I will. And the reason why I do this is less so to get the kill. I mean, I will get the kill, obviously, if they give it to me, but it's unlikely to get the kill. It's less so to get the kill, but more so to pressure them out and to distract them. Because if they're taking a lot of damage, they're less likely to be worrying about last hitting, both last hitting their side, and when I say last hitting, I mean not just the actual last hit kill, but also the orb killing. They're less likely to get their last hits, but they're also less likely to get to deny mine as well from that damage. And the thing is, I want to do this really efficiently. MOBAs are all about efficiency. Every single bullet matters, okay? I don't want to shoot 20 bullets at the enemy and hit 2 of them, which is not just an accuracy issue. It could be based on cover or other situational factors. But if they're standing still, if they're moving in a predictable way, then I will shoot them, right? Or if they're trying to focus on getting a last hit or something like that, then I'll try to shoot them or get the last hit myself. So you can see right here that the Ivy, I can't, rewinding in this sucks, so we're not going to do much rewinding. You see the Ivy was like pretty far up, right? They were like all the way over here. And I used this opportunity to light them up. And now you see, hey, look, they're missing probably about a quarter of their health. Is it become relevant? Not yet, but it's something that I'm keeping an eye on because now I have a health advantage here. You can also see right now I have a net worth advantage. So I'm at 377 and they're only at 75. And we're only 1 minute and 40 seconds into the game, but I already have an advantage here, and the advantage is only going to increase. So again, that last hit, right? Melee hits always give you the don't always give you the full value with no orb spawned. So it's a really good way to confirm last hits as well. The problem is it can expose you to more danger. But right now, I know I'm not going to be in danger because I know the Ivy's already been lit up. All right, going back, buying, right? So try to buy items, generally speaking, right when they're available, as long as you don't lose any creeps as a result. So you see how I picked the moment in time where like I was able to get it and come back and not lose any creeps. So ideally here, if with no enemy pressure, if they're bad at shooting orbs, you would kill all 4 of your creeps for 400, plus deny all 4 of theirs for an additional 200, which is 600 per wave. That is optimum play from a creep sword perspective, right? That's what we're looking for. Every wave is always 4, no matter what point in the game it is. I think that's true. There might be more that actually spawn later. Now think about it, but it's true for the early game for sure. So you'll see that sometimes my creeps expire and they don't spawn an orb. That's not a misplay on my part. That's my opponent's not last hitting them. So my opponent doesn't actually get anything from that, which is great. You'll see that the advantage is I can't draw. The advantage is massive right now. So I have 947 and the Ivy only is 189. So I already have an 800 gold advantage, which is the equivalent of the number 2 person on my team. That is how big this difference is. So I have my first item, which is obviously going to power me up. I'm about to get my second item once I hit 1,000. And then like I'm just going to get stronger and stronger from there. So you see the Ivy's super far up. I light her up. I think it's a her. And then the Ivy dies. So like it's such a little thing, right? But like, obviously it's like very obvious to me how the Ivy is not good. And I'm going to use that opportunity to bully them. I can't be overzealous. I can't be reckless about it, but I can smartly take kills whenever I can. And I can further increase my net worth lead. Again, I am the highest net worth person in the game right now. And that lead will only grow over the course of this game, which for the record, I actually lose. I end this game, I think 19-1. And my only death is at the very end of the game where I'm forced to contest. All right. So we're going to buy right now. I'm using somebody else's buy guide, right? So it's like, it takes me a little bit to like adjust to what I'm buying and the timing of it. So I know the Ivy's coming out, and you notice I'm playing really far back. The reason for that is I'm low and the Ivy is not, because they're coming back from spawn. So if they have the ability to jump on me, and I don't know all the abilities perfectly well, I know they have a stun on them. So it's possible that I could die here, which is why I'm playing a lot slower, and I'm just focusing on, hey, look, trying to last hit. There's also damage fall off in this game, which is, again, very familiar to play Overwatch. So I'm just focusing on, hey, look, denying this perspective. Focused on denying right now. As you see right there, right? So the Ivy stands still for a second, which allows me to light them up. So despite the fact they just came back from spawn, they're already at half health, right? They're missing like 40% of their health already. Get an orb, get a kill. See, I'm waiting right now. I got 34 ammo, but I'm just waiting. Hey, look, what's going to happen here? Because I don't want to start killing one, use all the ammo to kill one, and then lose other kills as a result. All right, get the last hit, get the deny, or get the orb. Look for that, right? Get another one. Great. Moving on. So it should show brown ones for the enemy, but I'm not sure if it does in replay. But right now I can see the Ivy is like very, very hard focused on what's going on over here. So I'm looking for an opportunity to poke down the Ivy. But I'm looking right here. Yep. Just chilling. Go back, buy my third item now. Fourth item. Wow. Fourth item. So I'm at 2100. Ivy's only at 458. So I have a 1500 lead on them. All right. Get the orb. Get another orb. All right. Get it. Again, being very conscious of my ammo. I think that's a very common mistake early on, is you spend way too much ammo killing them. Trying to work the Ivy down, reloading, because I know I have some time here. Get that one. I should have gotten the other last hit right there on the low one, but I went over that one, which was unexpected. I know the Ivy was around here and like reasonably low, so I get the sleep dart. I reload to try to see if I can get this kill. I'm like, there's too many creeps here for me to get this kill, realistically. Ivy tries to stun me. I roll back. And then go back to last hitting, right? It's like, look, I can't get the kill right now. That's okay, right? I forced out a cooldown, and Ivy definitely wasn't last hitting as this happened. Like, look at the gold lead. Like, I was 1,500 ahead like 20 seconds ago, and now I'm 2,300 ahead at this moment in time. Like, the lead is massive here. Again, do not take this video as like, oh, I am great at this game. I am absolutely not. Again, on a 0 to 100 scale, I feel like I'm like a 10 or 15 at this moment in time. But I think for new players starting out, you're like a 5, if that. It's like, even if you're good at aiming, I think that you'll really struggle at understanding what you're supposed to be doing because of how many mechanics there are in the game. So Ivy's low in the open. Pausing it at last hit, but I just want to make sure I get the kill here. So Ivy's not retreating or doing anything else. Not that I think that Ivy could have retreated here. Probably I would have hunted them down and killed them anyway. But they tried to just chill here. Got the kills, right? And then I just kind of get out. That's my second kill. So now I'm at 3,400. So there's a technique here where sliding actually makes your ammo infinite during the slide. So you can see I'm trying to do it here. This is the first time that since I've learned about it, I've tried to do it. So my technique is not perfect, but it helps extend your magazine to burn down the Guardian. All right, Ivy's come back, so I'm chilling right now. Very common for people when they re-engage that you can be in danger, either from them or possibly a teammate who is waiting for them to come back to 2v1 you. Very, very common from Dota, which is why my instinct is to immediately back up in that situation. I almost imagine the map as a Dota map, right? Like a two-dimensional overhead view where I'm thinking through, hey, look, what's going on the mini-map? And like, am I possibly in danger at any one time? And make decisions as a result of that. Going back, I have 1,500. So now I'm working on my tier 2 items now. Like, even though I have all these items, like, I'm still only at 700 health. Like, I can still die very, very quickly. Just backing here. So here's a good example where the creeps are pushing me in, and I have to chill a little bit, right? And play further back. I'm using my Guardian as cover right now. If the enemy hero was better at aiming, I might not use the Guardian. Like, if they're good at burning me down between the Guardian's legs. But I can already tell that I'm not really worried about the damage. Like, the Ivy's just not good enough to be able to punish me for standing in that spot. Which is a good spot because it gives me the line of sight to hit everything that I need to. All right, so get all those. Great. Go back. Pick up my next item. I'm at 4,300 now. Right, again, I'm like almost 1,000 ahead of their top player. Try to get sleep there because I knew that Ivy was low. Couldn't hit it. That's a sleep dagger, by the way. So it's equivalent to honest sleep dart. I'm looking for the Ivy because I know the Ivy is nearby. Yep. Go up. I also have ulti. I went there, just confirmed the kill quickly. I probably didn't even need it, but again, Ivy has the ability to go gargoyle form, which like stuns and makes them invulnerable. So I didn't want to risk the chance that they'd be able to like gargoyle away or stun me in front of the tower and have me die, something like that. So I just wanted to ulti and get it over quickly. I know people are dying on the lanes, but like I can't realistically like rotate and go help them. It's a higher value. I mean, like I could, but it's higher value for me to just make sure the Guardian dies here. Guardian dies. Shoot those just in case somebody's nearby. Right. And now, big question here is like, look, do I stay around trying to get more creeps or do I back up? I'm backing up initially just to give myself a moment to look at the minimap and see, look, hey, can I count for all the heroes? Yes, great. So in that case, I can now look for more opportunities to get more creep score. And I know I'm way ahead in farm, so like I should be able to push the Ivy out of this lane, so the Ivy can't get anything, right? So I'm at 3,800 ahead of the Ivy at this moment in time, which is equivalent to my number 2 hero on my team. Actually, I wonder what they call them, heroes, I think. All right, so now I'm backing because I hear stuff's happening, but end up being all right. Bullets have travel time in this, so that can throw me off at times. Easy kill on the Ivy, who is just, again, not very good and just like doesn't do a good job of managing their health or their cover or whatever. I noticed that this is a Grey Talon, I think, is on the right, who's looking for the pick on me, and that's why I went back right away. Buying again, and now I'm looking for Grey Talon with my invis. Because I know I'm strong, I know I'm farmed, I have to be ahead. If it's a 1v1, it should be an easy win. Even with ulti, even with Grey Talon having ulti and I don't have it, I shouldn't have any trouble killing Grey Talon. But I run around, look for it. Grey Talon's retreating. I see these 2 heroes over here, so I'm like, look, okay, I can sneak behind them. The invis runs out, unfortunately, so I'm like, okay, great. Just go back, hitting some boxes to get some, passive souls and buffs. I come back here, kill some more creeps. I'm hanging out here because the shop is here, so like I can have it, and I know the wave is gonna come here pretty soon. Killing creeps. So those 3 killed my teammates over there. I always hate the fact that the door's only open on the side. So 7's over here, right? So they fired that. I get stuck here. Wasn't able to get out as fast as I wanted. But I'm like, I think I can still kill the 7 here. So I'm like, visiting, because I have ulti right now, and I'm aware of it, and I'm looking to pop the ulti as soon as I get a chance. So walking over here, I'm like, okay, there's 2 heroes. I know this because the first hero I saw was 7, which is this guy. This over here is Dynamo? No, it's not Dynamo. It's I can't remember what his name is. I'm sure somebody in comments will tell me, but I'll learn myself later. But I'm gonna sleep him initially, walk forwards here, confirm where the 7 is, pop ulti right away. Again, I'm so far at this point that I do not think that they'll be able to kill me quickly, especially knowing that they were shooting the creeps. So because they're shooting the creeps, they probably don't have a lot of ammo in their weapons right now, right? You see they're both empty on ammo, which is something that I was betting on because they were shooting the creeps, which means they don't have the ability to punch me through the ultimate, which is like an AoE. It's like Reaper's ultimate. It's like almost exactly like Reaper's Death Blossom. So I use the ultimate, right? Kill off 7. So Dynamo's gonna go. I'm gonna reload, shoot him down. I also could have used melee, but like melee runs the risk that they could parry it. I've never actually seen a successful parry yet, and I haven't done it myself. And people rarely melee me for whatever reason. But reloading definitely would guarantee the kill. So I just killed 2 there. So I'm at 4 kills right now. 6. Well, wow, 6. I'm at 6 kills right now. So my farm is just continuing to increase, but the Vindicta is doing a good job too. She's at 7. Just staying busy with my time, right? Getting more kills. Like, could I push in with them? I could. But I'm like, look, I figure, the Guardian's already killed here in this lane. So like, we have to go really, really deep to be able to kill the next one. So I'm just going to worry about killing the farm. The creeps here. Just killing here, right? Doing thing, blah, blah, blah. You can hit these vending machines with charged melees, heavy melees, if you want to get money out of them, which is great. So continuing to get more and more farm. Just chilling for here. There's more creeps here, gonna kill them, great. This lane is empty, which is why I went here. There's a ton of stuff going on over there, but keep in mind that I can't see it on the minimap. I can only see it if a teammate or a friendly creep can see them. So I don't necessarily know where they all are. So this is a safe position for me without me knowing what's going on. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna buy. Gonna buy quickly. If I was better at buying with the new items, I would have bought and got out of here without even dropping to the ground, which would be more efficient. I can usually do that, but this time I had too many items to buy. So going in Viz, looking for the enemies, trying to find an opportunity. So Great Talon's over here. Unfortunately lands up top, but doesn't matter. Still get the kill. Easy pick off for me. So I'm playing you could consider it a Sombra-esque hero, right? A rapid fire hero who is not long range, probably like medium to close range, and builds the primary passive builds damage based on each consecutive bullet that hits the target. Consecutive is not quite the right word. You can miss some, but every single bullet gives you a buff that increases future bullets against that target for the next like 11 seconds. So continuing to focus down one target is really what you're good at. You're not an AoE combatant at all. So the reason why I'm not killing these creeps up here is they're actually pretty tanky. Like I definitely could right now, but I'm looking for an opportunity to see, especially with my ulti, to be able to clear out these three before they kill off the walker. But I look, I'm like, I don't think any teammates are going to get there in time because I see two here, one here, and there's probably, one over here. Like, no one's actually going to be able to help me, and I don't want to take on 3-4 people by myself. So, just kill the creeps. I have enough lifesteal that I'm not taking any meaningful damage here. So, that actually went pretty quickly. All right, let's try rewinding. It's going to work. So they kill a walker. I'm going to invis up behind them. I have ulti here. I'm looking for the opportunity. So kill the Great Talon. But frankly, my team already kind of cleaned up this fight. And so they're going to push our base at the same time that we're pushing theirs. I thought about going back, but like I can't 1v4 them anyway. So I might as well just guarantee that this walker's going to go down and then see what happens from here. So that their walkers are their tier 2 towers, if you're familiar with Dota. Back to base. I'm like, hey, okay, I actually have to defend this. I have to buy. The problem is I'm out of item slots. So I have to like sell and figure it out. So Vindicta's here. I know Vindicta's really squishy. Looking for the ulti. I can't quite get her, so I take cover here just to make sure that not everybody focuses me at once. Try to get as much as I can. I get stunned by Ivy, which is a good stun. 7 pops ulti, which is like a rapidly expanding AoE zapping ability. It's not a dot and it's not an explosion, but it just does constant damage. It's an expanding Death Blossom. So I have to get out of that. But I think, hey, look, maybe I can sneak behind, get a kill over here. 7's here. Get 7 low. Think about pursuing. Yep. Continue to pursue. 7's going to pop a stun on me here. You can see the stun coming, but I can kill him before the stun goes off. I'm sure 7, when 7 fought me, he's like, what the heck? The haze is super farmed. Because again, I do a lot of damage relative to this stage of the game. I'm at 15,000, so I have a 4,000 lead on their top player and a 5,000 lead on my team. Running out here. I think we're just going to farm a little bit. Most important thing, be very efficient with your time, right? If there's somebody already in the lane, I'll give them the lane. Because if we're both fighting for the same 400, it's not good value. So I'd rather be doing something else. Like killing these quote-unquote jungle creeps that otherwise wouldn't get killed. So I'm pushing up here because I really would like to get the walker. I could see there's enemy over here, so I'm expecting one to rotate over. So I'm looking for the Great Talon. Went up here. I popped ulti before realizing he was ultiing. That's unfortunate. I could have killed him without it, but it doesn't hurt to guarantee the kill. My ulti isn't like a super long cooldown. So they're trying to push him from behind. I sleep down the 7, and you see that I immediately switch targets over here because I'm trying to take the 7 out of the play because I'm figuring the 7 probably has ultimate. Actually, it doesn't. 7 doesn't. Actually, doesn't. But I figure the 7 has ultimate or it's going to try to engage. So I'm going to sleep the 7 and then deal with somebody else to kind of take the 7 out of the fight, right? Same thing as Ana. It's like in a 3v2 situation, if you sleep somebody, unless they're very vulnerable, you should actually 3v2 the non-sleeping targets and then worry about the sleeping target after. So that's kind of it here, right? Burn down. I think this is Dynamo. So he's going to use his ulti, which is basically Grav, a channel to Grav. All right, I back out here because I'm not really sure exactly what's going on. Get the kills. Working 7. 7's going to die. Want to kill the walker. I see that Infernus has come in. Infernus has an exploding ultimate, so I want to make sure I don't get caught in that because I am still pretty squishy. Like in a 1-on-1 situation, I'm not, but in a 3-on-1 situation, I can still die fast. Trying to poke him down. I'm starting to feel like this is not going to get us anywhere and that we're wasting time. And this is a big instinct in MOBAs when you're like, hey, look, this push is over, go back and farm. Because the enemy team's going to have to spend time trying to kill all your creeps and like, you know, push back out. Use this opportunity to zip line back and like farm creeps or like urns, crates, buy items, kill the mid boss, run the spirit urn, any of these things, like anything that's not just like sitting here waiting and like poking at each other when nothing is actually going to happen here. If we could poke and result in kills, absolutely do it and keep pushing. But here it's unlikely, especially this early in the game. It's really hard. Spawn times are really fast. It's very unlikely that we're gonna like end the game or do anything substantial here. So I'm pretty much like, hey, you know what? This is not good value. I like turn back. I'm like, it's fine. I just get out of there. So go back in, buy items, go out here. I'm just farming. While I'm farming, I'm constantly hitting tab just to see the map, scoreboard / map, right? And looking in the bottom right and just trying to figure out, hey, like, what are people doing? Because a lot of this stuff doesn't require conscious effort for me to shoot a target in the middle of my screen, right? I'm like constantly looking, my eyes, like my crosshair might be on a target, but my eyes are actually somewhere else because I don't need to look at it while I'm shooting down like the neutrals that don't move. So pop smoke while I'm looking for an opportunity, but nobody else is back here. So just chilling. I think, yeah, so this, he sees that they're doing the mid boss. So this moment's important. I did not realize you can't drop down through that. I don't want to drop in the middle, which I've done before and died. I want to drop on the edge. So I'm looking for an opportunity to ulti and kill multiple targets. I want to get reasonably close, but not super, super close. So I'm still invis right now, so I don't have to engage. As soon as I start shooting or doing any actions, it's going to reveal me. See these guys over here? I get stuck in a trap, which is really unfortunate. So this trap pops. I immediately have to leave because I'm nervous. Right? And so now I'm just repositioning because I want them to forget about where I am. So I get a chance to be able to get a clean engage here. So walking back in right now, I go for the 7. I don't feel like my aim was not that bad in the actual game, but might be a replay desync. So I pop both in the air, 7 dies. So that's 1. So that's the ultimate that the enemy team has popped off. So I'm going to try to burn him down through that. I'm still very, like, reasonably healthy right now, so I got some time. Get the second kill, and now I'm out. For the record, I now have 12 kills and 0 deaths. If you look at the rest of my team, you can see what a giant disparity this is. And it starts from the laning phase. To be fair, I don't think anybody in this game is very good. I'm playing on the EU server here because North American matchmaking is not available until 5 p.m. But, like, I don't know if that resets my MMR, like, back down low, but, like, nobody in this game feels particularly good, and I can basically farm them at will. So I'm low right now, but I'm sticking around because as long as I'm not tanking, I can still do a ton of damage here. You can imagine a scenario where, like, you know, maybe you're Cassidy or Soldier and you're down to like 50 health, but if your tank is in there engaging, no one's looking at you, and your extra damage might be what converts, you know, an escape into a kill or saving your tank into a kill. So that's kind of my perspective right now, as I'm just looking, right, poking down the Infernus. But as soon as he sees me, I'm like, okay, I can't have him popping his fire on me. He's chasing right now, which is, you know, fine. I smoke cloud, stay out, looking, try to poke him down. I definitely do not think the crosshair placement is accurate. But Infernus dies. You can see, hey, look, you know, assisted kill there. Great, I'll take it. My attacks also apply leeching damage as well. I don't know exactly which one killed him, but still got the kill credit. It's fine. So, oh yeah, so Ivy's out here, tries to slam me with the gargoyle. I roll backwards preemptively. I really should have rolled forwards. The crosshair is definitely not accurate because you can see the Ivy's taking damage, but the bullets are not actually on target. Like, you can see the bullets actually are on target, but it's still registering as hits. That's fine. Ivy dies here very easily. Again, there's no way that Ivy, with 9,000 net worth, can possibly stop me at this point in time. Like, I could literally lose half of my health before fighting, and Ivy still couldn't kill me. Killing more creeps. Moving along. So one of the things you run the risk of is farming too much, right? You need to know when is the time to, like, start going for objectives. So I was like, okay, with the Ivy dead, I gotta join up, right? So we're all gonna bunch up. We're trying to get it. The problem is I'm like better at flanking. I'm not so good at the big team fights because I don't have any area effect damage, and they obviously have strong high ground. It's hard to flank them. So I'm trying to just generally take a little slow out here. But like at a certain point, like if we're stalemated enough, I just want to leave because it's not going to get us any value. Like that's what I'm feeling right now. But I climb up. Furnace here. Okay, 7's popped ultimate. I get out of that. So we're just chilling out here. And Furnace dies, partially due to my damage. I got an assist. Going in here. Buying real quick. Running back out. You notice I don't hit the boxes because I still have my smoke bomb active. But like, I don't think this is actually going to result in anything. So they tag me right there. They know I'm low. They can tell that I'm a half health. So I know they're going to try to chase here. I'm like, oh, we have apparently we've grabbed them. So I'm trying to work down the grab target. Not nearly enough damage. It's unfortunate because if I'd been there, we definitely could have killed him. But I'm honestly, this is not for kills. This is mostly just to discourage the enemy team from trying to chase us. Looking for the sleep, but didn't hit it. I'm reasonably low. Between Vindicta and Grey Talon, they have a lot of abilities to like kill me really quickly at range, so I want to make sure to stay back here. So playing back here. I could see my teammates getting picked off, and I'm like, I don't think I can actually do anything. I thought about going back to get those urns, but that's too greedy. So they have a big advantage. We're down 3 heroes, right? Just like in Overwatch, tracking how many heroes are up, down, where they are, very, very important. We're down 3, so I can't realistically like try to go for kills right now or contest. I just need to chill for the moment in time. Speeding up. So just chilling out here. Actually, 1 second. All right, continuing. So just farming right now. I can see that they're all grouped up. I'm one of 2 people who are alive right now, but I can't realistically contest them. I'm not good at long range anyway, so I can't poke them down really well. Just chilling over here. Just trying to slow them down as much as I can. I also want to make sure that there's like momentum on a lane so that it'll push out on its own towards there. Because like once you get a lane going, nothing will stop it from continuing to move forwards. So if I kill the wave here and get my creeps moving, like it will keep moving towards their base, which will apply pressure. Just poking them down. Discouraging them from doing anything. I get stunned here. So now I'm like, oh wow, they're trying to engage on me. I roll into spawn, get healed. Light up the Infernus, get a sleep. Burn him down. The Infernus is very silly. As you can tell, like the competition is not strong here. Right. Get 2 kills. Walk through. Right. I want more, but there's like a ton of creeps in my way. So Talon's over there. Great Talon. Kill him. So that's 3. Like you see how fast he dies because of how farmed I am right now. And that's even without having all my item slots. Vindicta's here. I pop ulti, get the Vindicta down really, really low, get that 4th kill. Now I'm 17 and 0. So my friendly Abrams has been pushing their base. I'm going to go out here. I'm trying to chase. Bad movement tech on my part. Should have been able to get around the corner. That's the 5th kill. So now there's 17 and 0. I guess I didn't get the kill as an assist. Just killing the creeps, trying to get the momentum going. So that was quick, but I was looking for a kill, but I realized there's actually multiple heroes that were there. So playing back here, I noticed there's actually 4 players disconnected on my side. I wonder if they actually were disconnected, now that I think about it. I don't think so, but Vindicta's here. I'm trying to get the kill on Vindicta, so I'm going to hide up here for a second just to reset and reload. So it's Vindicta and 7 here. So I'm just waiting for them to not, like, kind of forget about me for a second. Smoke bomb out. Looking for the moment. Engage in Vindicta. Pop ulti. Vindicta died that was like less than a second once ulti went off. 7's popped ultimate way too far away from me to be able to do anything about it. I think, are they actually AFK? Yeah, they're actually okay. Okay, yeah, there's no way that I could have won this. Won a 2v6 situation. It's now a 1v6 situation. I wonder how long ago they disconnected. Well, that makes the ending of this even sadder. I did not realize they disconnected. I killed the Great Talon there and managed to get out. Almost killed whoever that was. See me burning them down. Be so much better once I like know all the hero names. Like I've seen them all, but it's like hard to remember. So they're all trying to engage on me. Stay alive easily. This guy walks forward. It's very silly. I like shredded him. His little teleport gets him away. I'm trying to get the kill here on him, but too much damage. I'm getting attacked by like everything here because obviously my team's not the AFK, so they're not gonna be able to provide any space. But I realized, look, this is kind of coming at the end. The heart throne, whatever, is about to die, so I have to go in and try to pop ulti, and I get pulled in by this, which cancels my ulti as well, which is really sad. I actually wonder if he saw it coming. Anyway, so that's kind of Deadlock, right? From my experience, just showing you like one game what it's like. Again, very weak competition, but I still couldn't win it. Granted, I had 4 players who ended up being AFK towards the end, who left. But like, I don't necessarily know that we would have won it even if they didn't leave. The game was certainly still very difficult, and I don't even think I scratched 50% efficiency in terms of all the things that I could have been doing, right? There's so much value I'm leaving on the table in terms of like last hitting and creeping and rotating smartly and understanding when to like try to go for kills versus like when to try to creep, you know, trying to support your team more, running urns. Like there's miles and miles and miles of like expansive skill expression, which I think is amazing. It's a really, really cool part about the game. All right, I will hold there. Hopefully this was interesting and hopefully fun to watch.